Hey guys, it's Casey. I apologize for not doing part two until just now. I had actually made part two a while ago, but I realized I'd forgotten something. I'd forgotten to mention some things in there, so I just decided I would do it later and remake it, and that never happened. So I'm about to go to dinner, but I am going to do this quickly. That way I can fill y'all in on everything that's been going on. The weekend that I'm talking about was probably like 2 or 3 weekends ago. So anyways, here we go. That Friday night, my friends and I had celebrated one of the girls' birthdays who lives at my residence. And so we went to the park, which is this club on 14th Street. And it was a very interesting experience, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But it was a lot of fun. I had never been to, I guess, a place quite like that before, and so it was just, interesting to try something different like that. I'm looking down at my list because I have a list of things because there's just too much that's happened since then. On Saturday, I went to a coffee shop with a friend called Sabaro's, and it's one of these really tiny, kind of off the beaten path coffee shops, and they have a lot of different, like teas and different kinds of brews and things like that. So it was kind of nice to try something different from usual, like Starbucks and, those kinds of places. So I got some peach apricot tea, and yeah, I've been kind of boycotting tea for a while just because I've, fallen in love with coffee, but that was some of the best, like, apricot tea I've ever had in my life, so I'm definitely going to have to go back there. So I definitely recommend it. That Saturday night, my friend Jessica really loves to go to auto shows. So we went to the auto show at the convention center in Washington. It was me and maybe like 4 or 5 other people. And it was wild. Like, I've never been to one of these in my life. And first off, to get through security is like crazy. It's like TSA. Like, you have to go all the way around and let people check your bag. And they have to put like a bracelet around it to say that you've been checked and all this stuff. They were checking for like knives and stuff like that. I mean, believe me, I love it when people do security because I'd rather us all be safe, but I'm not really sure what they thought was going to go down at the auto show. So, but I'm sure there's a reason. I mean, I'm sure somebody has done something crazy before. But this night was really interesting because since it was Saturday, it was more like a family night. So there were tons of like kids running around everywhere, but they actually had other kinds of things that you could do besides just looking at cars. And they had a bunch of different rooms. I mean, it's a huge place with all kinds of cars on display. And they actually had, like, you could meet the tallest NBA player to date, I guess, today. We missed him by like a minute and a half. I was so sad because I thought, oh, if I get a picture with him, I know I'll just be like up to his, only his hips or something like that. But we had just missed him. And but they had Captain Planet. So, like, Captain Planet's from my generation, which was wild. I'm sure none of those kids knew who Captain Planet was, but he was there promoting, no pollution, save the earth. So I got some pictures of the Captain Planet. And then what I was really excited about is they actually had two of my, like, fantasy cars. There's, like, 3 in my life that, they're not, like, luxury cars, but they're cars I would think would be really fun to have. And one is the Jeep from Jurassic Park. I don't know why. I just think it would be really fun to have it. But it has to say Jurassic Park and be green, yellow, and everything like that. And the other is the DeLorean from Back to the Future, with the doors that go like this. I love that car. And they also have a Mini Cooper from The Italian Job. Obviously, you can tell all my inspirations are from movies. But anyways, they had both the DeLorean and a Mini Cooper. I got to get inside the Mini Cooper and take some pictures, so that was a lot of fun. I didn't get to get inside the DeLorean, which was kind of sad. I would have totally loved to do the whole, like, movie box cover with Marty McFly looking down at his watch, with his foot on the door, but I didn't get to do that. Anyways, skipping out of dork mode that I just went into, it was a lot of fun. And, if you ever get a chance to go to an auto show, I highly recommend it. I mean, it was really interesting to see all the different kinds of cars. I mean, there was just, really interesting stuff there. The next day on Sunday was actually Chinese New Year's. It's the Year of the Rabbit, so there is a small Chinatown here in Washington, D.C., So I made my way over there because they were going to have a big parade and they were going to have, you know, like different bands and stuff in there. And so I've heard it's a big event. So my friends and I were going to go there and see that. But before I went there, I actually ran into a girl who I'd met here at my residence, and she was on her way to meet some friends to go to the Museum of Censored Art. Now, more interesting, I guess, than the museum itself is like the background behind this. Let me just give you a little background here. Apparently, the portrait gallery is owned by the Smithsonian, and there was a piece of art that had been put in there that was up there like less than 24 hours. It was a video that was apparently really controversial, and the secretary of the Smithsonian decided to take it down. Well, this like blew up because a lot of people, you know, didn't think that it was right that it should be taken down. They felt like it was like against, you know, freedom of speech. And so lots of this stuff blew up on the internet. Well, apparently there was a group of people that raised the money to first buy a trailer. We're talking like maybe a like 30, maybe 20-foot trailer. And then they bought, they had the money, got the money together to buy a permit to have this trailer right outside of the portrait gallery. And they called it the Museum of Censored Art. And literally, its main goal is to hold this one video, this one piece of art inside of it. And when you go inside, they actually have like a timeline of the time from the time that the piece of artwork was put in the portrait gallery to the time it was taken out, and today it being in the Museum of Censored Art, aka the small trailer sitting outside that museum. And actually, this trailer is like run on like boat batteries. I mean, it's like wild. Like I would have never even known what that thing was, much less known that it existed if I had not run into these friends. So anyways, that was an interesting side note on my way to go to the Chinese New Year's parade. After that, went to the parade, and it was really cool. They started off singing, I guess, their national anthem in Chinese, and then the girls sang our anthem in English. And so then after that, they went around the block, and they had like Chinese dragons, the ones where people hold poles and they kind of go like this in a ripple effect. And they had a guy that I was impressed by. This guy, he had firecrackers that he would light in his hand and just kind of throw them in front of him. And I mean, stuff was like blowing up everywhere, like in front of the children. I mean, I would have cried if I were a kid, but anyways, people really enjoyed it, and it was just a lot of fun just to see everybody out there, lots of different people, and they had, they were selling little stuff, little Chinese New Year stuff, people wearing little bunny masks, so that was cool. I was glad I got to partake in that. So yeah, that was my weekend, and I will try to keep y'all updated much more thoroughly and, much more on time next time, but anyways, y'all have a great night, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.